Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Superhero Deep Dive. I am your host Jason. It's a lovely Tuesday. I'm assuming, I don't know where you're listening from. I know I have listeners from all over, so wherever you are, I hope it is a lovely Tuesday. It's lovely here. I have a fun show set up, and yeah. So before I get into it, I have to make my normal disclaimer like I always do. The information pulled is pulled from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete. They do give a really good insight on the current superhero, though. I like to get to the meat of the matter and kind of take out some of that filler because I don't feel it's that pertinent to the character. I like to cover some of the bigger stuff that kind of helps form the character, and we can go from there. So, yeah, this week I am going to talk about Velocity. Velocity is from Image Comics. I had never actually gotten around to reading her, and I did some research, and I love the character. I love the look of the character. She's got short red hair, like really like bleached white skin, and she's got like a lightning bolt over her eye, and she's also got like her costume is like this green and yellow motif. It's really cool. It's really sleek and slimline. So I dig it. Her real name is Karen Taylor. And Velocity was cybernetically enhanced by a company called Cyberdata, which is a global corporation. They created advanced cybernetic technology and employed it to create these troops they called shock troops. It stands for Special Hazardous Operations Cyborgs. So Velocity's induction into the shock program endowed her with supersonic speed and movement. And this is actually really cool. A layer of Kevlar was implanted beneath her skin to combat the friction generated by her high speeds. So that's pretty cool. It shows they put like a little extra thought into it. Despite the level of shock development Velocity underwent, so despite the training, she was never made a fully operational member or a shock trooper, I guess. As her psychological profile was never fully wiped and reinstated into the amoral and obedient state Cyberdata preferred. So they weren't able to completely wipe her mind. So that's pretty cool because she's got whatever her past is, she's got stuff she's battling with. Velocity's memories were apparently suppressed rather than fully erased, and under duress, she began to recover fragments of her memories. She has little flashbacks of her childhood, playing ball with her sister and father, and at that time, she was already starting to display her power of super speed. So, that's pretty cool in itself because it kind of gives a little underlying stuff there. Another storyline revealed that her father left or died, and her mother entered into a relationship with an unnamed abusive man. Her sister later kills this abusive man while Velocity runs at super speed to find a police officer. So there was definitely trouble at home, which probably led to her being in that. So when she was introduced, she's about 16 years old, and she's a runaway from the Cyberdata forces. Initially, Velocity was set up in an orphanage run by someone named Mother May I, who's a Cyberdata operative with a red third eye in the middle of her forehead. During this time, Velocity received the lightning tattoo over her eye, which was it says a gift from a resident bully of the orphanage. So I don't know how voluntarily it was, but yeah, she got that lightning bolt tattoo over her eye. Soon afterwards, Mother May I saw Velocity's potential for cybernetic enhancement, and she was either given or sold to Cyberdata. It wasn't really stated. Since Mother May I was a Cyberdata operative, I'm pretty much sure she was just given over because she's going to get money from Cyberdata, like residuals anyway, like a stipend or something. So Velocity was shock trained and implanted with a brain box, which is an invention that overcomes the difficulties in adjusting to cybernetic implants. Um, so yeah, primarily in Karen's case, the brain box allowed her to run faster without overloading her brain or body with the chemicals naturally produced by the body with any muscle movement. It also allowed her to make directional adjustments to avoid obstacles when traveling at high speeds. So that's pretty cool because it helped her control it. I can see where, like we've seen stories in Flash, for instance, where he'll run and he's just dying of hunger, because his metabolism is moving so fast, his brain is moving so fast and everything that he's got to eat. He's got to have that calorie intake. And this brain box kind of helps suppresses those chemicals that cause that. So that's pretty cool. I really like the little touches they've put into this character. Um, so yeah, what do you guys think of this? Like so far, so good to me. As always, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, requests, reviews, anything like that, please feel free to hit me up on Twitter. I changed my Twitter handle. I think you can still find it on the old one, but if you look, it's under Super Deep Dive. And make sure you use the hashtag Superhero Deep Dive. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to open up the audience for more discussion. And, we can always go back. Have I made a mistake so far? If I have, let me know so we can correct it. Or we can, or I can tell you like why I may have omitted something or didn't include that in. So, it's no problem. I get emails frequently. You can reach me on the number 4 it all at yahoo.com. I have not changed that yet, I think. So I'm going to work on that soon. But yeah, but Twitter's the best way. You can DM me. They're always open. If I don't respond to you right away, I will respond to you as soon as I can. But I've gotten some requests to do random characters. I've gotten some requests to do mainstream characters, and I try to shy away from a lot of mainstream characters. And simply because there's information out everywhere about these. Some of these obscure characters, they haven't been delved into as much, so that it leaves a lot of playroom to expand on the character, which I really like. That's actually my favorite thing to do with it. So, yeah, let's get back into it. Powers. Velocity, of course, she can run super fast. She's got supersonic speed. She can run at speed in excess of 10,000 miles per hour or 16,000 kilometers per hour. But has yet to max out her speed for fear that she could rip the world to pieces. That's crazy. That's crazy. She needs a nap with that. She has been shown to sustain speeds in excess of Mach 3, like when she destroyed a warship from within while saving the Team Cyberforce from an updated killer robot. Cyberdata cybernetically implanted layers of Kevlar under her skin to avoid friction. Her speed also grants her super fast reflexes. In one of her issues, she spends a day with her sister, and she also demonstrates that her eyes can move at an incredible pace as well, allowing her to follow like the path of a card while playing a game of 3-card Monte. And that's like you see it in movies a lot, like when people are in New York or something, and they're like flipping the cards back and forth and kind of shuffling them, and you have to pick the right one. That's what that is. The brain box also enhances her reaction time and ability to process sensory input, so she'll be able to control herself and understand what she sees and hears when moving at high speeds. So that's nuts. That is nuts, because I've always wondered about that. Like, I understand that if you're a speedster, your reaction time is going to be faster too, because everything moves slower. But how does it cope? So, that's been there too. Let's see. Lately, she has gained Ultra Sapien abilities. Dude, that just sounds like straight out of Dragon Ball Z or something. Like she went Super Saiyan. When activated, these allow her to to sprout sharp ridges along the outer edge of her arms and legs, as well as the ability to quickly heal from injuries. Uh, so yeah, that's her power set. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, there just leaves so much to it. And I really like the way Image Comics went and covered a lot of things, and they're like, well, what has been some of the downfall of some of the other speedsters? Oh, they move so fast, but they can't react if something comes out at them. If they aren't ready. Well, this one allows her to. What if they get fatigued, or what if they run a lot, but they get tired because they need the calories? Her cybernetic implants, protect her from that. Her brain box protects her. And she's young, which means she's probably very impulsive, and she's still learning things. So I love how all of that is kind of meshed into one thing. Um, I looked up relationships. She had a crush on a hero named Heatwave, but nothing really manifested out of it because she was underaged in the comics, and I respect that. They didn't want to exploit her like that. And it looks like in one of the storylines they were going to have her kind of pair up with a hero named Ripclaw, and I believe he was like a Native American character. But the series ended before anything could really develop. I don't know exactly why the series ended. I don't know if maybe it was just the story ending, or if the series was canceled, or there were delays. I just don't know. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find a whole lot of information. And sometimes that's the bad thing about, some of these obscure heroes, is that they'll be in storylines and something may get cut, and there's no real clear-cut reason why, unless you were in the moment at the time and you understood it. But researching back on it, it leaves a lot of fog. So I do apologize for that. I wish I had the answer. If you do, let me know. You can, like I said, you can catch me on Twitter at superdeepdive, and use the hashtag superherodeepdive. I would absolutely love to have conversations with you guys. Um, let's see here. And if any of you guys are interested, of course, I'm playing wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. I am also, every Tuesday, I upload this podcast with a slideshow of artwork of the character. So if you're not familiar with it, you can look up Superhero Deep Dive on YouTube, and you'll be able to see artwork of the character, like from comic panels, covers, fan art, stuff like that. So you can kind of get a good visual of who the character is, and maybe someone that you never realized, and maybe someone that you've been a fan of and just kind of forgot about. But this does help kind of fill in those blanks. And if it's not already on there by the time this airs, I am actually going to be running the show every Tuesday and Thursday on Outworld Radio. And that's uncon-vention.com, I believe. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. That'll be up multiple times a week with some of the old shows as well, playing and just getting insight into comic book characters, into a world that is loved and adored. So yeah. So now we're coming up to my favorite part of the show, and this is what I call power expansions. This is where if there is a hero that we're talking about, how can we expand on this character? What can we do with it? With their power set, can we grow it? Can we make a TV series or a movie out of it? Would they be good for their own, like a mini series in a comic book or a storyline? And if so, what would that be? Who would play this character? All that kind of good stuff. So I am opening the floor. This is what I had for Velocity. So it's been touched in the comics, but I think we should build on it. Let's have Velocity's memories come back to her, but have Cyber Data keep trying to keep her under their control. So it's like she's battling her own will versus what Cyber Data wants her to do. We've seen it in movies before, and it's always made good movies because you're battling against yourself. Like you are basically turning into your own worst enemy. We see it with the Winter Soldier, where he's trying to fight the programming that he was embedded with. So this can be something very similar to that. She could be Image Comics' version of the Winter Soldier, which is amazing. Because as she fights these memories, like she grows as a character, she finds out who she was and how she can gain some semblance of her life back. Um, and I honestly think that this storyline or this kind of storyline can actually translate to multiple sources. Like a comic run, you could do a whole miniseries. You can turn it into a TV show where she's battling all these things, or you can run it as a whole movie itself. The movie I think is a little far fetched because as you're battling things, you want to. It helps to give backstory, and that's where something like a TV series would be. And when I say TV series, I also mean like, how WandaVision was, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like the mini series that you can actually delve into. But like she could run into someone she knows. You could have cameo from other characters. You can do a whole lot with this and just have it build. And the fact that in the comics she was originally introduced as a 16-year-old. Now she may have grown to be of legal age, and that's fine. But she's still young, and that's the point. She's young. Young people make mistakes because they don't have that wisdom. So let her make mistakes. Let her desperately try to find some semblance of a family that just may not be there. Let her not know who to trust because you never know where cyber data reaches. I feel like this could be a lot of fun to do, and I feel like it could really elevate the character. So with that being said, let's say they make the character onto the screen, like she gets her series. Who would you cast? Who would make the cut for Velocity? Who would be a good Velocity? I actually thought pretty hard about this because you can't go too old, right? But you don't want to go too young. The character is, and you don't want to go too young because it's going to be a lot of heavy material with it. So, but you can't necessarily go with someone that might be, and it's, I am not body shaming anyone. Like, let me put this out before I say this. I'm not body shaming anyone. But different characters require different body types. So like you can't cast some of these other people like I wouldn't be able to cast, say, Jennifer Lawrence in it, like the girl from the Hunger Games. Beautiful girl, tremendous actress. You know, but she's a little bit more muscular. She's a little bit thicker, I guess. She's got definitely a more natural body tone, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to remember, Velocity is a speedster and she's a runner, so you want to get someone really slim and slender. So that's why I'm saying I'm not body shaming anyone. It's just a matter of whose body type works for that character and what that character is. This character is a runner and is a speedster, which means high reflexes, high metabolism. Everything is super, super jacked. So, you need someone slender. I was thinking maybe Vanessa Hudgens. You know, she has got a slender figure, or maybe even Sarah Hyland. They both have the slender body type, which plays well with the runner's physique. To me, Vanessa Hudgens seems to be to have a little bit more fun, or is a little bit more playful in her acting style. So that's probably my top choice. And like I said, it's just because Vanessa Hudgens has a slender body type, so that fits with running. Um, she's playful, so that could definitely play into a young adult. Because you make jokes about things, you tend to be a little bit more lighthearted, and then you end up making decisions that may not have been fully thought through. And then you get the consequences for it. So who do you think? Who do you think would make a great lead for this? I think this is a lot of fun, and I'd love to hear everyone's input. Um, like if this was done maybe 10 years ago, I would have probably said Keira Knightley, because she had that really super slender figure. Um, she might need a little bit more muscle tone, but I would have said her maybe. Um, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? But yeah, that's pretty much all I have on Velocity. I was really hoping to have more, but her character just, you're looking at a pretty obscure character from a company that doesn't have as much notoriety as the other two, as the big two, Marvel and DC. So I'm gonna cut it short for now. Catch me next week. I don't know who I'm covering yet, but I'm sure it'll be fun. So let's go on that journey together. Everyone be blessed, be happy, be safe, be smart, and if you're not smart, don't get caught. I'll see you next week.